Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday. We are almost to Friday, getting close, almost time for the weekend. Yesterday we talked about finding the area of a parallelogram and a triangle. Okay, so just go over that real quick. So remember, a parallelogram kind of looks like this guy. And both of these lines are parallel, and both of these lines are parallel. So that makes a parallelogram. And the area for this was just base times height, right? Okay. And then when we found the area of a triangle, and it's a triangle right here, and we learned the area of a triangle equals base times height divided by 2. Okay. Because if we split a parallelogram in half, what's it create? 2 triangles. And so that's the reason we divide by 2. Okay. Today we are going to work on learning the angle relationship. So about angles. Okay, so we're getting into geometry now, and let's find out what our first vocabulary word is here. It's adjacent angles. Okay, so these are pair of angles. So they're pairs 2, right? Okay, so adjacent angles share a vertex and a side. So 1 and 2, they're adjacent angles. They share this vertex right here, and they share this side right here. Okay. So that's why they are adjacent angles. Okay, so if we were to draw just like this, that means angle 1 and angle 2 would be adjacent. Okay, just adjacent. They share a vertex, which is right here, and they share a side, which is right here. Okay, so vertical angles, it's our next one. Vertical angles are formed when 2 lines intersect. So we have this line right here and this line right here. Those 2 lines intersect, and so they form vertical angles. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 are vertical angles. Okay, so 1 and 3, this one, and this one are vertical angles, and 2 and 4 are vertical angles. Okay. Next is supplementary. Supplementary, this one's not bad because 2 angles that have a sum of 180 are supplementary. Okay, so this means the measure of angle 1, m is the measure of angle 1 here, plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180. So if we would just add both of these angles up, they would equal 180, and that's what makes them supplementary. Okay, and finally, our last one is complementary. 2 angles that have a sum of 90 are complementary. So angle 1 and angle 2, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 90 degrees. So this is complementary, okay? So anytime you see a right angle, these angles are complementary. They form, when you add them together, they equal 90 degrees. And if you add 2 of these angles together, they are supplementary. It equals 180, okay? All right, so let's take a look and see what this means. All right, let's look at this example. It says classify each pair of angles as adjacent, vertical, supplementary, complementary, or neither. Okay, well, let's just take a look at what this says. This is right here. We have 2 angles. One measures this angle. We'll call this angle 1 and this angle 2. So angle 1 measures 35 degrees and angle 2 measures 55 degrees. Okay, so what happens when we add these 2 angles together? 35 plus 55. Okay. Okay. So 5 plus 5 is 0. I'm sorry, 10. 0, carry 1. 3 plus 5 is 8. Plus 1 is 90. Okay. Well, both of those angles, the sum of them are 90 degrees. Okay. All right. So if it's 90 degrees, does that make it a complementary angle or a supplementary angle? It makes it complementary, right? Because 2 angles, the sum of 2 angles, that's 90 degrees, is complementary. So this would be a complementary angle. All right. And let's decide if these angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent or vertical angles. What do you think? Adjacent or vertical? Okay. Oops, this Y is messed up. Complementary. Okay. And let's see. They both share a side, right? And a vertex. They share a vertex and a side. So an angle that shares a vertex and a side is an adjacent angle. So this angle is adjacent. These two angles are adjacent, and they are complementary, okay? Because they add up to 90 degrees. Let's take a look at another example. Okay, we're going to classify this one. So same thing. We have to see if these angles are adjacent, vertical, supplementary, complementary, or neither. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna. We have this angle right here. We'll say this is angle 1. Change colors here. We'll say that's angle 1. Angle 1, and this right here is angle 2. Okay. All right. So let's add these together and see what they are. Okay. So 127. Oops. 27 plus 53. 7 plus 3 is 10. Carry 1. 2 plus 5. 7 plus 1 is 8. And 1. So they equal 180. 180. All right. So angles that, when you add them up, equal to 180, does that make it complementary or supplementary? It makes it a supplementary angles, right? Supplementary. Yep. So they are supplementary angles because when we add two angles together, they equal 100 degrees. That makes them supplementary. Okay. All right. And then let's see what else we can find out. Okay. So if we add these and they are 180 degrees, that means I can do angle 1 right here. This will be angle 1, right? This is 127 degrees. It's close enough. And then we have 53. So that means that this right here is 53 degrees. Okay. All right. So what kind of angles are these? Are these going to be considered adjacent angles or vertical angles? Okay. Well, let's go back. The example that we saw had, just do this here. We knew 1 and 3, right, were vertical angles. And then 2 and 4 were vertical angles. So that means these are vertical angles. Vertical angles. Okay, vertical angles. And the reason they're not adjacent, they do not share a vertex. Okay, these two angles share a side, but they do not share a vertex. So that would not make them adjacent angles. Okay, let's do another example. All right, let's take a look at this one. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to add both of these angles up. Let's do 37 plus 22. 7 plus 2 is 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. Well, these angles, when we add them up, don't equal 90 degrees, which would be complementary. That's when we add two of them up. Or 180, and that would be supplementary. So that means that these two angles are neither. They are neither supplementary or complementary. And let's just check adjacent and vertical. Okay, so they don't share a vertex, right? And there's two lines that aren't intersecting, so they are neither. The answer to A would be neither. Let's look at B. Let's add these two angles together. 45 plus 45. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry 1. 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So that makes these angles complementary. Okay. Complementary. All right. Now, are they adjacent or vertical angles? All right. Well, they share, they don't really share anything. Okay. Are they formed when two lines intersect? We have a line here and a line here that's intersecting. These two angles were formed because of that. So this would make them vertical angles. Vertical. Okay. Okay. All right. For more practice, you could go to your McGraw-Hill ebook, and you can also check out the McGraw-Hill tutorials on that. And that will be all for the lesson today. You'll be classifying angles and telling me if they are adjacent, vertical, supplementary, or complementary, or neither. If you have any questions, please email me or just jump on Zoom from 105 to 150, and I'll help you out there. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.